Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Allee and I help ambitious women figure out how to build a life and business that they love that can coexist together without sacrificing your soul. And today I'm really excited because I'm actually going to be talking to you about one of my favorite subjects, which is...
Give me a second.
The roadmap to starting a business in life that you absolutely love. That's wrong. The roadmap to starting and scaling a business that you love. So I love to teach that we have a life and we have a business and we do not live to work. We have a business to actually live the life that we want. And there are a lot of seasons in life that we all navigate, right? Especially as women. You have obviously like high school, college, you know, there's like that weird time in your early 20s when you're like, who am I? What am I doing? Where do I live? Right? So there's a lot of like time to build, but then also there's a lot of soul searching and figuring out who you are. Again, development of your frontal lobe. Wow, that's a lot. You have time where you start to think about settling down, getting married, starting a family. And as you walk through that, you guys, while holding down a career or a business, like it's a lot. It is a lot to think through. It's a lot to process. Trying to like do all of that at once, it would be overwhelming for anyone. I want you to really like think about the seasons as we talk through this business, about where you are in your season, because like juggling 5 kids and a business is a huge feat, and so is being in college and wanting to start a business. So is being in your 20s and getting established and figuring out how to pay your student loans and starting a business. Like every single season has its different things that you get to understand and overcome, and your life is the priority, right? The business is something that should be flowing with your life, right? Like your life should be flowing into it. We should be getting fruit out of it. Our lives should be getting better because of it, hopefully. We should be becoming better because there are always challenges when it comes down to that. So I just want you to understand that and have that mindset, because I think sometimes as a business owner, when we make this kind of commitment, sometimes you get burnout. Sometimes you forget why you started. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily feel worth it, especially when you hit really high mountaintops and then you hit the inevitable valley that comes before the next one, right? Just keep that in mind. Think about the season that you're in and understand that this is a long game we are playing. I'm excited to talk about specifics of how you can actually feel really grounded in this process. Okay, so I want you to think about what business means to you. I have coached thousands of women at this point. I put on conferences, I put on retreats, I one-on-one coach with women. I have multiple businesses that I get to help and serve other women that are service-based and product-based, right? So I get to talk to a lot of women. It's probably the best part of my job, realistically. You will kind of land in this arena eventually if you want to get married and have kids, right? If you don't want that, you may not feel this as much, but it still will ring true in its own way. And both of them are absolutely valid and beautiful. Business is about creating freedom. Business is about allowing you to create legacy. It is about creating and like giving you something so that you can have what you want in life, right? It really comes down to like having the freedom, having the consistent income, having that consistent time so you can provide what you need, having presence, having insights from overcoming things, right? Like that is actually a lot of what business is able to give you. It's not like the Ferrari that those random guys in those videos that you might get hit with like on ads on Instagram where it's like, do you want to be a millionaire? You know, it's actually not about that. I promise. It is very much about giving you the tools in your toolbox so that you can actually live the life that you want and letting you become the woman that you've always wanted to be, and then creating legacy for those who come after you in your family, in your community, in whatever form that looks like, so that they can literally take the baton out of your hand and start at a better starting place and then run farther than you ever have. It is all about that, right? So when we're able to see it from that perspective, we have to then figure out where we are on the board as we're building, and sometimes you get lost in the sauce. I talk about this all the time. That's probably one of my favorite things to say. I will probably end up with a t-shirt on it. You get lost in the sauce. It's natural when you have a million things to juggle and when you're navigating life and hitting different seasons. With that in mind, I want you to think through with me where you are on the different steps I'm going to outline for you, okay? So there are, I believe, 5. There are 6. There are 6 different steps specifically that you can actually operate within when it comes to the journey of building your business, being an idea and a passion, all the way to it actually being something that is bigger than you, that's creating legacy. So I'm gonna take you through those. I have thought through this for literally 9 years. And like I said, I've studied all the people I've been able to pour into and work alongside. I've studied myself. I've studied those that I really look up to because people work in patterns. And so one of my degrees is in political science, and political science is literally all about picking up patterns of humans. So I got to go back to my roots, and I want you to understand that specifically for people and patterns, this is something that I have been able to see in like hundreds of lives, okay? Figure out what fully feels true for you with this information as a starting point, and then I really want for you to feel grounded in this. Like, that's the intention. So as I walk through this, identify where you are. Don't feel like I'm in step 1, I'm behind, okay? Because I really believe that we go through this cycle over and over again in life. So you can start again when you're 45, you can start again when you're 65 realistically with this. So let's talk through the first step. Okay, so first step is we get hit with purpose. We get hit with like some kind of passion, some kind of purpose. We see an opportunity in the industry that we're craving to work in. We see an opportunity in the town that we live in. Something blossoms in your heart, in your mind, where you're like, I think I could do that, and I think I should do that. And so that's a very exciting experimental stage where you're able to kind of like conceptualize where you are, conceptualize what you're doing, and then from there we're able to go into step 2. But you need to figure out what you want and like why you want to do it, and then get that fire in your belly that's like, we're gonna freaking do this, right? So that's our step 1. Step 2, and oh my gosh, I could go on a soapbox about this step and the next step, okay? I think a lot of people in our generation and those who are coming up right now are forgetting is that skill is extremely important. You can't just like want a business and then be like, I see this need in the market, right? And there are no plumbers here, right? So I want to be a plumber. You cannot just be like, I'm a plumber. You should probably understand things about plumbing and understand, like, if I walk into a house and the shower is exploding, right? I should probably do this. This is what I should look at first, right? You need to build skill, okay? You need to figure out your niche solution, the way that you are popping in and helping people. Developing your skill set is the second step, right? We have the passion, we have the why, now we need to develop the skill set. And this can take a while. This is something you might need to go to school for. This is something you might need to intern for. You might need to work under someone who's doing the thing that you want to do for a few years and learn from what their rhythms are. It's a time of true apprenticeship and learning, and there is nothing wrong with that. I feel like everyone talks through being the boss. You know, there was like the era of the boss babe and girl boss, right? Like that was a whole thing. Most bosses actually started as like interns, right? Like most bosses actually like had to learn and had to really pave their way through being the person at the bottom, and you kind of like climb your way to the top naturally. And one thing that's great about business is you maybe don't start at the bottom of the corporate ladder and work up, but like when you're at the top and you are the CEO of a business, you still need a really solid skill set. So you're either gonna have to pay to get that, you're gonna have to sacrifice to get that in some way. You have to really be good at what you do to actually be good at what you do, right? And that's a huge way to differentiate yourself in this day and age. The third one is mastery. I do not know many people in their 20s right now who are true masters at anything. I truly think that I am in this stage in one of my businesses, truly mastering what I'm doing fully, you know, continuing to climb up the rungs to grow again and again. I do this with Ruya Media, and so I started as a marketer, right? And then I started to get into more social media and digital marketing, and now I've worked to learn a lot about media buying, so I understand organic marketing and I understand paid marketing. So nothing is happening in the marketing world that I am confused about. I understand anything, any room that I'm walking into. I've worked so hard on that. It's taken me about 15 years at this point to, from when I started to now, understand everything that I know. So I just want you to understand that like it takes time, and that's a beautiful thing, and you're allowed to learn along the way. But you have to remember that mastery is a very important part, right? So those are our first 3 steps. I think a lot of people stop at step 2 and will start a business and then kind of like flit on to the next thing. So permission to be committed to the first vision, or the vision that feels the most aligned, and then like stay in that vision for years at a time, because the way that you become the best is you don't quit. That is it. The people who win are the people who do not quit in their industry, and they continue to grow, they continue to learn, they continue to feel extremely passionate about what they're doing, even when you don't necessarily feel that passionate about it, right? Because there are different seasons and different lives. When I'm a new mother, I probably won't feel as intensely about furthering my marketing education in the first month. I'm gonna have new things I'm discovering and learning, and you will too as you take on new seasons, but I will come back to it because I'm committed to it and I see the long-term vision, and I want to do it for 60 years. Just understand that there's longevity in what you're building if you want it to be as big and powerful as you want it to be. If you want it to be as life-giving, as state-of-the-art, it takes time. And then the last 3 of the 6 steps are actually really simple, okay? When you have been able to create the purpose, when you've been able to build the skill set, when you've been able to master it, you see fruit. Even when you're in the skill building stage, you're going to get paid. You should be in paid internships. You should be in opportunities where you can put yourself in a place to grow. And so you're going to start to see the fruit of what is coming. You're going to see the revenue. You're going to see the PR and the articles written about you. You're going to get the book deal over time, right? Like, it's just inevitable when you are a master and as you are scaling and growing. So just know that like that's when you can start to expect things. I see people kick off in the first level of like, I'm so enamored by this purpose and I want to go, and then they're like, oh, but I don't have any money. Well, you have to figure out how you can continue to build what you're building while making money and building your skill set and making money in maybe another way and mastering, right? Usually at that point we're making good money from it, hopefully, but the fruit comes over time. So it takes a process, it takes time. I need you to understand that it's not an instantaneous thing. Then our 5th step is at that point investment. Then you can take the fruit that's really coming in, especially as you're that master and people know you're the go-to and you're really scaling out your business. You'll be able to have extra revenue, extra fruit, extra there. You should invest it in your business, in yourself, in different businesses, in your family, in your legacy, in building out that philanthropy about that thing you care so deeply about. That's when our business has grown to a point where we're able to like build new things. That's what a lot of people dream about, right? It takes time. It could take 25 years for you to get there. So you just need to be okay with that. It could also take you 10 years, right? Everyone has their different rate, but you need to have really realistic expectations because you can't hurry that process. You can't hurry mastery. You can't hurry skill. You can't hurry fruit, right? But when it comes, you can then use it in a really, really intelligent and smart way. So once you've been able to invest, then our last thing is then being able to spread, right? We're able to like invest in those, in the people, in the community, in those who, again, are coming before us. And I think that's probably the best part. I would say as I'm able to scale up my business and help women, it is just so fun to be able to see them go way beyond what I could have ever done at their age or even way beyond what I've ever done, right? Once you're able to invest and then, you know, build, then it's just taking care of those around you. It's taking what your business healed in you, your business built in you, and building that in others. That's such an amazing season. Realistically, we just get to complete the circle over and over. As we are business owners, again and again, it builds a really, really beautiful life, right? And so I just want you to understand that like seasonally, that could reset. You're gonna have to learn new things as new things come into your life, but you can do it. and it is beautiful, and it is so very worth it. So figure out where you are seasonally in your life, figure out where you are in your journey of business, get your expectations clear and right so that you have that long game mentality and enjoy the process. I hope that this gave you deep clarity. I hope that you are excited and you can see that long-term vision, because listen, women have not been in the business game for long. We don't have that many women to look up to realistically, but when you are able to get grounded with these tools, you'll be able to see this as what it is, which is a career, which is something you get to do with your life. It's not just happening to you, it is happening for you. So enjoy. Please subscribe if you have not. Let me know below if you have any questions, any videos that you want me to create, anything at all, just let me know below. Make sure that you like this video, and then I will see you in the next video. Have a good day.